Hi guys, it's Mrs. Myers. I am here today with our reading lesson. So this week we've been reading Hoot and Pete. And if you didn't get a chance to watch Mrs. Myers reading that story to you, I want you to pause this and do that so that this story is fresh in your mind. Today we're talking about making connections from the text, which is Hoot and Pete, to our world. Okay. And so hopefully while you were listening to this, you had something that reminded you of a real event in the world. Maybe it was something that happened a while ago, or maybe it's something that's happening now. Okay. So I want to show you what we're going to do. So the very first thing is we have to make some connections, right? So when Mrs. Myers was thinking about Hoot and Pete, I was thinking about our world. And here were a couple things that Mrs. Myers came up with. I came up with that it's really important to celebrate our differences, just like Hoot and Pete did in this story. We know that in this story, Hoot and Peep, so Peep would always say, Hoot would always say, no, no, no. It goes like this, peeps. First, we owls say, who. Second, we always say who. And lastly, we only say who. And then we know on the next page, he says, sweepity peep. And we know that Hoot gets frustrated in this story, right? And so that made me think about our world today. Everybody has a different opinion, right? And that's what makes us all special and unique. And so I made a connection that I thought that celebrating other people's differences is really important. We might not agree with their difference, but still being kind to them and listening and not getting angry and irritated is so important. So that was one text to world connection Mrs. Myers had. Another one that I had was that working together with someone else or a group of people is always so much better than trying to do everything by yourself. And so I noticed that, we know Hoot got irritated with Peep, but then he realized that when he was all alone, that actually was not an amazing feeling, right? And so once they started working together, he realized that he had made that big mistake. They started working together and things got so much better. And that is just such a great reminder in our world that we need to work together instead of against each other. So that was kind of my second thought. And then finally, Hoot and Pete really reminded me about what it looks like to be a bucket filler. And we know that bucket fillers are people that do kind things for others. They fill up other people's buckets. And when we fill up other people's buckets, it also makes us feel really good. And so I kind of had a text to world connection with Hoot and Pete. They didn't start out filling up each other's buckets, did they? But by the end of the story, they really did. And Hoot was happy and Peep was happy. And so I made that connection with our world is like, let's just be bucket fillers. Okay. So maybe you have another connection, or maybe you had a same connection as one of those three things that Mrs. Myers said. That's perfect. So what you're going to do today, boys and girls, is you're going to take one of those connections or one of your own connections to the world, and you have two pieces of paper in your folder. And Mrs. Myers already cut hers out. And it says the world should learn on the first one. And then it says Hoot and Peep could teach the world. And so we're going to write our text to world connection on these lines. And so I think I'm going to choose today, working together is always better. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Working, and remember, you're going to do your own spelling to get today because it's so much better for you to do your own writing and to do your own spelling. Okay, that's how you're going to become a better reader and a better writer. So working You do a finger space. Together is always better. Okay, if that wasn't the one that connected with you, then you choose a different one that did. Then you are going to take this, that's like the bottom, and this is the top, okay? Couple choices. If your family has a stapler, ask your family. They can help you. I don't have one right here next to me, but you would just take the stapler and put one stapler right there, and then that would lift up, okay? I know all of you have a glue stick. So let me show you what you can do. Okay, you can put over the words Hoot and Peep could teach the world. Just put a lot of glue right there in that little section. And then put that up there. Really hold that nice and tight. Press it down. Okay, and then the world should learn. And then you can do this. Working together is always better. Be sure when you're done, write your name on the back and then stick that into your finished classwork. Open it up, stick it in so that Mrs. Myers can check in on your work as well. All right, boys and girls, I hope that you have made a text to world connection in our mini lesson today. I'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.